Alright guys, this is what I came up with. I don't know if anybody else out there has installed the Hilantronics Ikilly 2 on a Losi 5ive or Rovan 305, LT305, or a King Motor X2. I just did my install and this is what I came up with. So the temperature sensor wire I ran straight down. It's moldable and bendable, so I ran it straight down underneath the rear drive shaft, underneath the servo mount plates, and at the end of the battery tray, which the factory wires follow this seam. So I ran it along with them. Put a small zip tie there just to keep it from that edge, and let it kind of come out and just fall down under. So that's the temperature wire. I decided, I've seen some guys just run it up over the top and kind of bend it down in, but it has to go underneath the plug. So I just removed the plug, removed this bolt here, gave me a little bit of a little play, enough to it comes 90 degree, the loophole, so I bent it horizontal and slid it up in there right between the plug and the head, and I haven't tightened any of that down yet, but I wanted to make sure I was happy with everything. So that's done. And then of course you have the Killswitch. I installed the new switch and in traditional fashion ran it right out from underneath that slot that every CY Rovan King Motor 5th scale engine has. Ran it down under here. You can see the interference piece, which kind of just keeps it right there nice and neat. And I ran it through this bottom loophole to keep it as low as possible. Without a zip tie, it was still fine. It wasn't hitting the front drive shaft or the brake, but I decided that, sorry about that guys, I decided that a zip tie, I haven't tightened it yet, would be good to this servo post. You can see just the bottom of it. And it's basically just going to keep the wire as tight as possible. I put this little braided sheath over it because it was just too black and white thin wires and it wasn't covered in anything. So yeah, that's that. And as far as mounting it, this little guy I thought was a lot bigger. I'm glad it isn't as big as I thought it was. I guess some people would probably mount it here. They say you can mount it with 3M. You know, you could put zip ties through the holes and zip tie it somewhere, or of course you can screw it in. But when you look at this chassis, it would really just be, it doesn't fit in any of these areas here. Back here, I would not want to mount it to the plate near the axle. Of course, I could have mounted it to the top of the battery tray, but you get the pipe right there, and it's just, there's really low visibility for that. When you look on the other side, I mean, that would just, I don't know, it just didn't make sense there, even though it may have fit, and there's nowhere else to put it at all. So you have the top of your tray for the receiver, and of course it mounts with a body pin or body clip right there, and it just slides out of these two hinges in the back. It just kind of pops off, you know. So it's just big enough to mount. I drilled two tiny holes, and I had self-tapping screws, and so I put two tiny self-tappers in there. And yeah, this is a nice setup. It comes with a little tiny grub screw. I don't know if you can see that. And so it gives you the ability to really get your antenna in there well. The Rovan Baja was not set up like that. It was just a friction fit. So yeah, everything's set up. It's on there really well. I'm happy with it. Of course, it interferes with my ability to push the on-off switch, but I'll put up with it. I can push the switch off, I can pull it on, push it off. And what I thought about afterwards is kind of nice. I'll be able to see the Ikilly, which again gives me RPM, engine temp, it's a kill switch. I'll be able to see it from the windshield, through the windshield of the truck. It's actually right there. I may even be able to stick my hand down in and play with the actual functions. I'm not sure, but that wasn't something I thought about beforehand. I guess I probably should have, but I didn't. So yeah, that's that. And I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, overall, I don't think there'll be any issues with any of the wiring. And the only reason I did this is because there is a lot more wiring than a traditional kill switch because of, you know, the additional functions. So I figured somebody might run into the same problem I did and really not be able to find much on the internet on where to install it on this particular rig. So there you have it.